thought that Wave 13 was all that was coming this week. Well, me too, but it looks like Cloverspell, the new seasonal event, is coming. And we have some updates on the Faerie Island Colossal to get into as well today. So it has been confirmed that the next My Singing Monsters Live is going to be happening this Wednesday. But what relevance does that have to us Faeries today? Well, let's head on over to Monster Handler Met to get some more details about that.
Keep an eye out for the next seasonal event that is arriving in early March. That is when our next episode of My Singing Monsters Live will be.
So Matt has confirmed that the next seasonal event is going to be coming when the next MSM Live is. And if it's this Wednesday, then the next seasonal event, Cloverspell, must be coming this Wednesday. Ffidyll's event, guys. So not only are we going to be getting Wave 13, it looks like this week, but we're going to be getting Cloverspell. But where does Cloverspell take place? Well, in order to figure that out, we've got to go on over to his anniversary promotions last year, where all the seasonals were featured alongside another sale that featured the islands that they were going to be going to. So for Ffidyll, it was featured alongside Smoochel and shown to be coming to Faerie Island. And we know therefore that Cloverspell is going to be coming to Faerie, and I mean it's the most obvious one too, guys. Ffidyll is too much of a good match for Faerie Island, and in saying that, Ffidyll fits the Faerie Island song out of all of the seasonals, the islands that they're going to be going to. It just fits it the most out of any island, and therefore for Ffidyll, I really want to see him everywhere inside of the song. To me, Ffidyll just seems so much of a perfect fit that if it didn't sprinkle itself all along the song, I feel like it would honestly be quite a missed out opportunity here. It could be equally just as similar to Seasonal Shanty. It's just such a good match, Ffidyll, for Faerie Island, that it just needs to go everywhere, in my opinion, that it possibly can. Sure, if I'm going to go ahead and say where he's going to play, I feel like the beginning, when Platy stops and then stops playing after it, are the most needed expansion parts inside of the song, where those really need expansion. But if I'm looking at the song here, I honestly just want it to go anywhere. But you know what? If you do want to take it to the next level, I've just got to say, if Ffidyll goes at that ending part where Kana plays, that would uplift the song and make it just go next level. So if anything goes there, I'm just so excited. That verse hasn't really ever stood out to me, but if something went there, I just feel like that could be so much better. So I'd be super excited about that. And in saying that, we've got some St. Patrick's Day harmony here too. Ffidyll would be a perfect duet to go alongside with Platy. Platy actually has bagpipes, and bagpipes are used inside of the parades behind St. Patrick's Day, so it's, in all honesty, just a perfect match. And just imagining those two instruments together itself, even with just Ffidyll's sound on Seasonal Shanty, it just feels like it would go so well. Someone needs to do that duet, honestly, because that sounds like it'd be a good one, to be honest, even though they're on completely different islands. I mean, seasonals do just have one track hugely, and Cloverspell was the exception, yes, but for Ffidyll, just specifically it being Ffidyll and it being such a good match here, I feel like if we have just one track that doesn't really play inside of the song, it is going to be a bit disappointing. So out of all the seasonals, I feel like this is the one to want the most out of, as is made for the Faerie Island song. It's got to go everywhere. And going outside of Ffidyll, what else do we have coming this Cloverspell? Well, we do have confirmation that the Dipsters are going to be arriving alongside the other magical islands. We saw them back with Cloverspell's event, and they're going to be making a return to the other magical islands, and with Faerie being another magical island, we're going to be seeing them on Faerie Island alongside this event. Dipsters always play at the ending of the island song, so I have little to no doubt that the Dipsters are going to go and do that here, especially seeing as though the Dipsters would just no doubt be the best fitted for the ending of the song. I've took a listen to it and it feels like that would be the best fit for them when Kana's playing at the end, and I've just got to say, Bone Island slam dunked out of nowhere that the Dipsters were just all of a sudden great, and the Dipsters are so catchy on Bone Island. So if those can come along and do something like what they did to Bone Island, I am so excited. We skipped out on Magical Sanctum, but nah, we're looking at Faerie, and I'm going, I want these to be continued, to be redeemed. I don't like them on the other islands, but Bone Island, they were a whopper. So if you can do something like that over here, I'm all down for it. Also inside of his Cloverspell event, along with the other seasonal events that we've had so far, in the beat hereafter we had Rare Wither, and then in Crescendo Moon we had Rare Zeaster. So inside of Cloverspell, Cloverspell, we're also going to be getting a rare magical, but who on earth are we going to have? Well, in order to deduce it today, I've got a list on screen right now of all of the elemental rare magicals that we've seen so far. And if you guys are looking at this list right now, you can see, if we put Magical Sanctum to one side, two as that arrive later, we've got a huge imbalance here when it comes to the quad elementals. We've got no quad elemental rare magicals, guys. And yet there's so many other rare magicals, especially when you don't even count Magical Sanctum as that came later. So going by that, I think Faerie Island's quad is going to get a rare magical, and it's going to be rare Platy this time. And you want some more proof, do you? Well, I can give you more proof, because as we've been saying, Platy connects to the Cloverspell just so well. Its instrument ties to the St. Patrick's Day event even more than what Ffiddles does. So if you're going to have any kind of rare release inside of Cloverspell, you have rare Platy release. It's just an uncanny connection here, and it's just too perfect to miss. And with all fairy elementals being tied to fairy tales and mythological creatures, it just makes sense to have Platy be based around such a thing, and to encapsulate that just in a perfect way inside of the event. We could have a more Cloverspell attire to tie to the festivals that happen with the bagpipes, and it's just such a good chance we could have a green kilt design too. Those are always all around inside of St. Patrick's Day anyway, so having that there would be awesome. And going by how it's having a green kilt, we could have some ties to it being a leprechaun. I have no doubt that the island is going to tie immensely, the island design to that for Cloverspell, to leprechauns and stuff, so why not have a rare magical be based around that too? Some leprechaun goofiness, and seeing as though leprechauns have been looking at them, and they have quite goofy ears, and I've been trying to picture what rare Platy could have to make them stand out. I think some ears on this one, some perky ones to resemble leprechauns, would be an amazing feature that could make itself stand out. We could have a cute bow tie on the bottom plate and throw in a clover somewhere. The horns at the bottom, they could be resemblant of the pipes that leprechauns often smoke out of, the wooden ones. Something like that would be really cool at the bottom, I do think. Next up, let's talk about Faerie Island now. So we talked about it a little bit. I am expecting for the leprechaunness to be embraced with this design. Gold pots, clovers everywhere. And you know what? For this, I just can't continue without putting Ral's design on screen. Once again, Ral's has just come up with the best of designs overall, and it's just kind of took all of my predictions away, to be honest, because this is just what I want now. Is that great that I just want it to be just like this? We've got an immense amount of clovers towards the bottom of this design. The huge clover at the center is wonderful and really encapsulates the fairy element overall. And actually, if we're looking at the fairy element, it resembles it so immensely, and the clover side of it is, oh, I just love it so much. Do it big blue with all the rainbows at the back alongside the pots of gold. If you really want to add the chef's kiss on top of this, though, I would love to see a leprechaun hat at the very back of the island for the Titan itself. And going back to what I've been saying too, I just want to see some more Critter Lovers. Original island events for the first 5 natural islands do have some unique critters. The ones from Spooktical are the ones that I always look back to, and I want to see something like that. I know Echoes of Eco is gonna deliver, and I'm sure the critter will be different with Echoes of Eco's seasonal island. But before that, I just want to see it return, because it's one of those things that just makes me smile so much. It's one of those little things that stands there and it just makes me so happy. And when I was looking online, I found these little gnomes that literally look identical to the Faerie Island critters, and it just made me go, wow, I just want little gnomes on the island now. If I can have that, then my dreams are fulfilled for this update, honestly, guys. Let's make the critters look something like this. And while we're on, as Cloverspell updates, as we've said, we've got even more on the bandwagon today. As inside of the update description that we went over last time, we went over how it was based around the Cold Island Colossal. More than likely, that would be coming next, as it was revealed that inside of the frozen stores, it would be revealed when the next Colossal Conundrum would begin. However, going back to Monster Handler Matt, it's been confirmed that it's not actually supposed to be resembling towards the Cold Island Conundrum itself. So let's go and take a listen, shall we?
Mentions that the next conundrum will be available and that the clue will be hidden somewhere in the distant, frigid stars. I can clear a few things up for you right off the bat. Yes, it's going to be Cold Island. But that's actually not what the clue is making reference to. I guess the question you have to ask yourself is, what time of the year are there freezing, frigid stars in the night sky of the monster world? Which month would that be?
So the 4 monster antlers. We predicted wrong, and it did actually turn out good because we've worked out now that the Cold Island one will be coming next, but that wasn't what they were referencing towards. They were referencing towards the Cold Constellation, which is currently going on, that we actually explained inside of his Wave 13 video. Make sure to go and watch that if you have not already, which is happening this month. So that means that his Cold Island Conundrum is going to be beginning inside of March sometime. And alongside this, we have confirmation that they're going to be making some changes to the Conundrum this time. So we'll have to wait and see what those changes might be as well when this comes along. But before we talk about that a little bit more, I want to drag up here Rouse's design for the Colossal Conundrum, as once again they've come up with just such a good design. The Cloverspell one was so good, and here they've represented once more the Cold Island Colossal. I'm personally hoping that the iris does change some more in the design between the islands, because I think if they delve too much into the Plant Island design, they're going to look a bit too similar. So I am hoping that the iris changes, and I have been seeing the comments too that it could be a snowflake or a star. Those comments have been arising everywhere, so if it's something like that, the iris, then I am all down. But once again, a lovely design from Rouse. Now, going back to his Colossal Conundrum teaser that we got, so if it's tied to March, then when is this Colossal Conundrum going to be happening? Well, if we're going back to his Wave 13 connection, which was also tied towards this Cold Constellation that's happening inside of March, and that's also coming this Wednesday, then the stars do seem to be aligning that the Conundrum could begin this Wednesday. As if the Cold Quint is also tied to it and that's coming then I don't see why not it wouldn't be. So on the 8th, we could be seeing the Cold Island Conundrum, but not just that, we've got Cloverspell happening, the Cold Quint, Rare Mimi, Ffidyll Dipsters on Faerie Island, Rare Magical on Faerie Island, and the Cloverspell trailer. You know what, that just went on for like a minute, that explanation of what is going to be releasing. There's too much stuff, guys. I don't know what to say anymore. They need to spread it out a bit more. There's so much coming. I don't even know. I have no idea what's going to be coming for the rest of the month now. It feels like everything is releasing at once. Which I love so much. It's just crazy. Oh my god. Anyway, guys. It took all of my energy out reading that list overall, because I mean, that is a lot of updates. Oh man, am I excited though.